Continue with our coverage around the ANC NEC Lekgotla, which kicked off just moments ago with that opening address by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Let's bring in political analyst Sandile Swana, who joins us via our video link this morning. Sandile, great to have you with us on this Sunday morning. It was a bit like a State of the Nation address, wasn't it? And that's only happening on the 9th of February. What was your takeaway from what the President had to say this morning?
Yes, I think the information that the President has presented to us has been consistent for some time, including the January 8th statement and other preceding statements. And he did raise the fact that there's a big elephant in the room. And the big elephant that he pointed out was the worsening load shedding, which has gripped the population. And he did try to make us to understand what is going on. For instance, that farmers and our food security is now in question because of load shedding. So we may not have enough food in South Africa to sustain ourselves. Security on a day-to-day basis in our homes, in our businesses is compromised by the load shedding. As we all know, water as well, and sewage and other things are in question. The President also went on to point out that there are too many municipalities that have collapsed in South Africa. What he did not say is that the exceedingly large majority of those are ANC municipalities that have actually collapsed.
Yeah.
And the state-owned institutions, not institutions, state-owned companies and state-owned entities that could be doing a much better job in development that have been collapsed, which also now need to be, for people who are highly competent, to be appointed to those entities. So again, the whole HR problem of the ANC has been highlighted to say, in all these places where there is significant failure, there is an urgent need to appoint competent people to cover those steps. And one other aspect that impressed me, which was that there is a need for speedy execution of whatever ideas and plans that they think they have. That word speedy was used by the President, which has been lacking for a very, very long time. As you know, this energy crisis we have started in 1998, and there was no speed from 1998 until now, until it got us to where we are now.
Yeah, he talked a lot about innovation and new ideas, right? I mean, that's a big ask because, and it's a legitimate comment to make from the President. Because in some ways, when we talk about the energy crisis, our unemployment numbers, we do tend to talk around in circles. I suppose the question this morning is this NEC Lekgotla the platform for these innovative and new ideas?
Yes, it is the right platform for these ideas, because then you will have DGs, you'll have the maximum strength, professional strength, intellectual strength of ANC-aligned people. So, I mean, he made a mistake when he said that the top brains in the country are there. These are the top brains of ANC-aligned people that are there. It's not the top brains of this nation. Bear in mind that South Africa is an innovative nation. And a lot of the things that are a big problem in this country is not to say there are no innovative solutions presented by the CSIR, by all the major universities, by all the engineering institutes, by SAICA, which deals with chartered accountants. All the top economists have presented all kinds of innovative solutions.
Yeah.
All kinds of engineers have done that. Now, this is where the issue is. This Lekgotla and the ANC as a whole has never had the heart, the energy, the desire to implement any innovative solution. Instead, they have hampered. If you don't come with a bribe, you don't present your solution with a bribe, a kickback, and some other thing, it's never going to see the light of.
He also talked about strengthening government departments, strengthening SOEs, and of course we know where a lot of our corruption happens, which is at a municipal level. You talked about strengthening municipalities as well. This is important, Sandile, in terms of what role will the president himself play in this strengthening. And I'm alluding to the cabinet shakeup that is set to take place very, very soon, in fact.
Well, the shakeup is going to be interesting, but if you look at the NWC that he has appointed, some of the people who are in the NWC are people who were accused before of assaulting women or abusing women. Some were mentioned in the Zondo Commission as having taken all kinds of money, in millions, in fact. And they are there. Some were part, like Mahlobo, were part of the 9 wasted years. They were key in the collapsing of the security cluster and abusing security of this country. They are in the NWC. So it's clear that once you talk about moving forward, he has got to move forward even in selecting the cabinet, whilst recruiting the people who belong to the RET forces, who belong to the Polokwane Brigade, who belong to the group that actually collapsed this country, of which is also a member himself, by the way. So the cabinet shake-up is going to be very difficult for him, because he has got to keep the ANC mafia together. That's basically his problem.
And does he have the ability, does he have safety in numbers to do exactly that?
Well, look at the numbers that he has. Even the presidency, you've got people like Lekgotla, as an example. I mean, if we're to be clear and direct, you've got the likes of Mandashe, who were mentioned unfavorably in the Zondo report. Obviously, Mbalula has moved now to the ANC office. He's a strong supporter of Ramaphosa, but he's got cases of his own of corruption, and so on and so forth. So, what type of numbers? Yes, numbers are there, but what type of numbers? The only thing you can do with the numbers that Ramaphosa has got is to pick and choose which ones you are going to prosecute, which ones you are going to expel. So, I think that the idea of Ramaphosa and numbers, since Ramaphosa became president in 2017 of the ANC, it has long been exaggerated, the importance of these numbers. The ANC needs itself to actually decide to do the thing. Start a project on time and finish a project on time. Don't entangle us in this other stuff. Just do the job that needs to be done. You don't need any numbers, just do your job.
Do you have faith in this NEC Lekgotla today, Sandile, to try and really, for once, come out with concrete solutions? At the end of the day, that's what South Africans want, right? They're sort of deaf to the politicking that takes place on the sidelines. What they want to know is that their lives are going to change, that their lives are going to improve insofar as the economy, electricity, water, businesses that are failing, small businesses that have had to close directly as a result of load shedding. Concrete solutions.
I think that what Ramaphosa said is that the board is implementing the ESCOM recovery plan. If I hear the date correctly, that he already developed in July 2019. So in some of these parts, for instance, certainly electricity, there is not a single year since 1998 where there was no a lack of a concrete solution. Concrete solutions have been there. Kusile and Medupi failed with detailed project plans that are world-class, in fact. They failed with that. So it has not been lack of plans that has been causing the ANC to fail in power. It is the darkness of the hearts, the wickedness of the hearts, the evil in them, not to want to do anything good for this country, but to only look after themselves.
And in fact, the president talked about that as well, right? He talked about criminal syndicates operating at power plants. Many will say criminal syndicates operating at various levels of the state.
There are criminal syndicates operating at various levels of the state. Even Kgalema Motlhale agreed to that. He considered that point already in 2007. So this corruption is in every sphere. It's not isolated. It's in every sphere of government. Now, the important thing about these criminal syndicates is that they flourish because they are tied up with an assortment of politics. And you may well find that some of them do not only have members who are ANC members, but they also have members in the DA and elsewhere. So the problem that we have to deal with of corruption in South Africa must not just be looked at and say this is the corruption of the ANC. It is the corruption of the elites and corruption of the upper class in South Africa. So we have that problem. It's a big problem that has established itself. And Mandela already identified in the 1990s that this problem is very big. In the 1990s, it was very big. It's worse now.
Sandile Swana, let me thank you for your time this morning. Some serious issues we need to contend with as we go into this two-day NEC Lekgotla, which the President has just opened now with his opening address. Govan Whittles is our reporter who is also there tracking that story for us.